Good afternoon, VC. It's Steve Whitty here, and this video is my entry into Cloudy Milder's 300 subs contest. I'm leaving it a little bit late. To give it a lot of thought. Cloudy Milder, great channel. Particularly focus a lot on the metal side of things, but that's not bad. I like a bit of metal myself, amongst other types of music. The contest itself, remind everybody, is threefold. Show an album with three or three in various guises in the title. It could be band name, song title. Show a favourite third studio album by band. Show three to get a bonus entry, and then show an album from a band on their third lineup. And again, you should get, if you show three, you'll get a bonus entry. So, without further ado, I'll start off with an album with three in the title. I think I've rather done well. Hopefully, I'm sure somebody has shown this. It's a CD, and it's out of the case because the case got smashed years ago, so it's in one of these protected covers. The band is called Three, and the album is 3 to the power of 3. So you've got 3 in both counts, and there's said CD. Now, you may be wondering what was Three, who were three, made up of three. And it was, in fact, a project that featured Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer and a singer-songwriter from America called Robert Berry. They only recorded the one album. This came out in 1988. And this sort of followed on. Keith Emerson tried to do an incarnation of Emerson, Lake and Palmer with Cozy Powell's Emerson, Lake and Powell album, which sort of flopped. And pretty much this did the same thing. Pretty much 80s fare. They were trying to, some of the songs talking about lover to lover. Robert Berry, I think, was brought in because he provided that Greg Lake style of vocals. There is a rather awful version of 8 Miles High on the album. I haven't played this CD in, I've got to say, about 25 years, so probably may give it a spin shortly soon, just to remind myself of if it was as good or as bad as I remember it. Moving on to favourite third albums by bands. I've tried to be a bit different. You could have the box standard. So the first one I've chose, get it in the right order. There we go. Aztec Camera's Love. This came out this came out in 1987, and this has got the album that features Somewhere, Working in a Gold Mine, and Somewhere in My Heart, which was the big single of the album. Roddy Frame moved from Rough Trade, and he was on Warner Brothers WA at the time. A very typical 80s, fine 80s pop album, actually. I actually quite enjoyed it. I was quite pleased to find this for £1. And so, to me, it's a great album. Move me phone away. Next of the third albums, and again, actually keeping it in Scotland, Big Country's The Seer, and came out in 1986. Big Country, one of the favourite bands of mine. It contains Look Away, The Seer, One Great Thing, Elidon, Teacher. Absolutely brilliant album, I think. Probably wasn't as successful as the first two, particularly the debut album, but still a fine album all the same. My third album, I digged around pretty early, but again tried to be different, and I've gone for the Boomtown Rats. You see that, The Fine Art of Surfacing. This came out in 1979, and you got the back cover there of the band. You've got, big single on there was I Don't Like Mondays, and you've got Someone's Looking At You. That was another top 10 single. And my favourite song on here, Diamond Smiles. Having my picture taken, it was certainly, I think it's shifting direction for Boomtown Rats. It was a lot smoother, the sound. It wasn't as rough and rough at the edges. They got tagged in with the Pumping Wave at the time, and so I just think, it's still a great album, but it was their peak. The third album was their peak. Now, moving on to bands on the third lineup, and this gave me a bit more, made me scratch my head a little bit more. It's made me want to have a slurp of coffee as well. The first choice, I've gone for Love Over Gold by Dire Straits. At the time of recording, the lineup featured, I can get it right, as well as Mark Knopfler, John Illsley, and Pete Wills on drums. They'd been joined by Alan Clark on keyboards and Hal Lindis on guitar. Now, of the first two albums, David Knopfler played guitar. On the Making Movies album, David Knopfler had gone, so to me it was just the three people. So that's the second lineup, and just a trio, and then the third lineup is this is who I consider to be the third lineup, and they just recorded the one album, masterpiece, Love Over Gold. I think out of all the Dire Straits album, this is my favourite. On here you've got Telegraph Road, which is just an absolute monster piece of work. Comes in over nearly 15 minutes. Then you follow it with Private Investigations, which was a number 2 single in 1982, surprise number 2 single. I think it's sort of divided opinion. It's one of those that you really loved or you hated, very Marmite in that respect. On side 2, you got Industrial Disease, Love Over Gold, and It Never Rains. Only 5 tracks on the album, but just a great album. Ironically, I think this was one of the first albums that ever came out on CD, or it was used as to promote CDs when the idea was muted. I know Dire Straits were heavily promoting that when they did the Brothers in Arms album and the tour. My second choice, I've gone for Eagles Hotel California. Now, at the time of recording, Joe Walsh had just joined the band, and he had replaced Bernie Leadon. I'm just trying to think all the other bands. Let me just members. Yeah, Glenn Fry, Don Henley, Don Felder, and Randy Meisner had played on the previous album. But as I said, Bernie Leadon had enough and he left, and was replaced by Joe Walsh, and he joined for this album. And what can I say about this album? Apart from the fact I can't get the Inner Sleeve back in now, it's their masterpiece. From the title track, and then you got the singles, New Kid in Town, Life in the Fast Lane, and then The Last Resort was just a masterpiece. So, Joe Walsh timed it just right. Unfortunately, sort of unravelled a bit at that point, and then you have the long run. You had Timothy B. Schmidt to come in and replace Randy Meisner. So it was the fourth lineup. And finally, for the third choice, I've gone Foreigner 4, and this to me is the third lineup there. Original lineup had featured Mick Jones, Lou Gramm, Dennis Elliott, and Ed Greenwood, and forgotten the name. Do your research, Steve. Basically, members had dropped off, and so I think Ian McDonald was one member, and he got sacked. I've forgotten the name of the bass player, to be quite honest, and the original keyboard player. The bass player left by the third album. McDonald, I think it was McDonald, and I think it's Greenwood, I think. They got sacked after Head Games, and it came to the fourth album. Rick Willis had been recruited on Head Games, and it was just those four, and this was the third. This is the third lineup. This is the first full album that lineup recorded. They recorded that and that Agent Provocateur. This is the breakthrough album, really, internationally for Foreigner. You've got jukebox singles, Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Urgent, but some other great songs. Woman in Black is a favourite of mine. I'm Gonna Win. Yeah, I think a great album. So Cloudy Mile, that is my entry. So it's a bit muddled, but if you like what you see, feel free to comment, thumbs up, and if you like even further, more, especially those who subscribe to Cloudy Mile and not seen my channel before. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button. I'll subscribe back. So VC, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of the week, and take care. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.